And the message here is the ego dies, but the soul rises. When we're in this state of like waiting for death, it's because we haven't lived the life we know that is meant for us. I don't know why I'm giggling. But the point here is to resurrect in this life. The life that you're living is not the end. It is not the end. The ego dies and the soul rises. You're not meant to live your life in other people's expectations in order to be recognized as good. The whole point is to shed all of those expectations of who you're supposed to be in relation to others and let your light be shown. Let your true self be shown. You're not waiting to die, but you might be waiting for another life to begin. But that life begins and ends with you and who you're deciding to be. I am called here to be free. You were called here to be free of expectations from those around you, from society, from expectations of yourself. The red thread, good recognizes good. Your life is not meant to be lived to prove that you're a good person or to prove that you're doing exactly what everybody else deems as good. But when you know that you're free of these expectations and you're living in your authenticity, that is your soul purpose, people are naturally going to see the good, whether that fits their previous expectations of good or not. They have no choice but to see the good. When you start living as a free, authentic soul, truly, you'll see the people around you in a new light, in a new perspective. You'll see the goodness in them because you see the goodness in you, and that can only be reflected back to you. And this doesn't have to be with just the people who are currently in your life, but people who come into your life. You'll start noticing different vibrations of people or different types of people who match this authentic and free vibration. Awesome. Okay, so that was the starting message. We're going to get into the tarot. We're going to see current and relevant energies to you, to your timeline. See whatever messages have to come out here. So we have the Three of Cups and the Queen of Cups. And this is talking about soul family, soul contracts, soul friends. And the Queen of Cups is you. The Queen of Cups is you. Maybe you're calling in your soul tribe. Maybe you're closing out soul contracts, which soul contracts are really just dynamics that we share with different people. And when I say closing out, I mean just radically changing the dynamic here. Maybe you're changing the dynamic, not any specific dynamic between you and another person or you and a group of people, but you're changing the dynamic in how you relate to their particular role in your life. So the clearest example here is like friends. You're not just like changing your dynamic with a specific friend. You're changing the dynamic with friendships. You're changing the dynamic with the archetype of friends, the role of friends in your life. What does this new version of you, how do they relate to their friendships? Maybe you base your friendships off of, going out and partying, or maybe you base your friendships off of, just catching up every once a month. What's the new dynamic that your new version of yourself, this authentic, purposeful, intentional version of yourself, what's the dynamic between that version of you and their friendships? And the King of Wands. I don't know why, but party animal just came to me. But this isn't like a party animal where it's like you're living in hedonism, or maybe so, but you're doing it so like intentionally. You're doing it in a mature way, and you're really like taking control of your life. You're reclaiming your sovereignty when it comes to your connections, when it comes to your new self. When it comes to like the queens, I really think about it's who we are when we're receiving, and the kings is like who we are when we're showing up in the world. So with the Queen of Cups, I'm getting that you're getting very intuitive downloads. You're really tapping into your intuition here. You're really tapping into your intuition here. And you're showing up in a way that is magnetic and sovereign and fun and purposeful. With the Ace of Cups, this is bringing you a new emotional beginning. Oh, and we have the Ace of Pentacles right after that. So you're having a new beginning in matters of the heart and matters of your finances. The Ace of Cups is very much about unconditional love, unity consciousness, and it's very much like the heart space. And because your heart space is clear, renewed, intentional, it's created a very fertile place to plant new seeds, which is this Ace of Pentacles. And after the Ace of Pentacles, we have this Four of Swords. So with the Ace of Pentacles, you know, being planted with the Ace of Cups, these desires, material desires, I don't know, physical desires, they're being planted within your heart, and you're just letting them rest, and you're just letting it grow. While you're in meditation and you are focusing on your being and you're like resting, and I don't just mean like resting like physically like napping all day. I mean, although that could be the case, you're resting in terms of like your mind. You're giving yourself a rest by being compassionate with who you're being and who you have to show up as. With the Six of Cups underneath the Three of Cups, I'm getting that you're having a very nostalgic time with closing out these soul contracts from your friends. You're really like reminiscing on how you related to friendships in your past. And you're thinking about how it's going to look like in the future. Kind of like what energies did you align with and what energies are right for your future. Six of Cups is very much like a pondering of the past and also the future. But I'm also getting this energy of like, you're imagining your future as if it's your past. Because, I mean, the truth is we can only be in the present moment, right? The truth is we can only be in the present moment. So when we do think about the past or we imagine the future, it's all actually the same according to our nervous system. But what you're really doing when you're intentionally imagining your future is you're creating that life for yourself in the present moment. We have Knight of Swords underneath the Queen of Cups. And I'm getting the energy of like inspired action as soon as you get like this download. So whatever it is you're intuiting, whatever information you're receiving in your heart space from the universe, you're acting on it very quickly. So the Knight of Swords is about impulsive action, but because it's clarifying the Queen of Cups, which is a very intuitive archetype in tarot, it's giving me the message of inspired action. Like you're not really thinking too much about it. You get this download in your heart space and you don't even question it. With the King of Pentacles underneath the King of Wands, with the King of Pentacles underneath the King of Wands. Okay, I'm getting like a sugar daddy energy. Hold on, how does this relate? How does this make sense? The King of Wands, you're dreaming big. You're showing up very powerfully and very magnetic. And because you are, you're creating your abundance. You're creating your legacy. So now I'm not getting party animal vibes, especially with this King of Pentacles. I'm getting this very intentional and very sovereign energy. Is that you're determined to create your abundance through having fun. And we have the Chariot underneath the Ace of Cups. So that's just kind of a repeating message that I had with the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Swords, where it's like you're getting these downloads into your heart space from the universe, and you're just going after it. You're not questioning it. You're just, it's like a quick, like, thank you, universe. Because your desires aren't just like coming from your head, coming from what you think makes sense. It's coming from your heart. So it's like, thank you, universe, for these promises. Not just desires, they're promises from the universe. You're using the tension between who you're being, what you're doing, to fuel this willpower. To fuel this willpower. And it stems from the very essence of your being. Or I should say the tension between your past and your future. The tension between your past and your future. To create this willpower in the present moment. While you're going. While you're doing, while you're being. And underneath the Ace of Pentacles, we have the Fool. So it's very much giving this energy of, okay, you have this new seed planted in the essence of your being. And as you're going, you're kind of feeling like a fool, or but not in a bad way. You're it's like baby steps. It's like how like when a baby's walking for the first time, it could be a little clumsy. But the Fool is very like joyous, very free. When you let your soul free, and you let your authentic self lead the way, you're not focused on the future. You're not focused on the past. But you're taking these new steps. You're being a new person. When you become a new person, when you're being a new person, it feels like you're a baby again, and it feels like you're doing all of these steps, these like feels like you're being a little clumsy with it, but like in the best way possible. Like, let's see, clarify the Four of Swords. We have the Devil. So underneath the Four of Swords, which is a card of like meditation, rest, clarified by the Devil, is that when you're in these periods of like rest and meditation, maybe the tempting thoughts do come up. Tempting thoughts as in like doubt, fear, the inner critic from our past. It's kind of like the shadow side of us telling us that who we're trying to be like isn't possible. But with the wheel card here, is you're just riding that wave. You're just like letting it pass because you know the wheel is going to turn back around. The wheel is going to turn back around and you're going to feel a lot more embodied after going through this meditation of shadow work. Because your desires are promised. Your dreams, they are promises. And you're not letting your doubts stop you. You're not letting your fears stop you. But you are going within when you do feel these things kind of pop up in your awareness. And you're just riding the wave. You're letting it pass you by. You're not taking it too seriously. Because you know it's just a part of like this thing called being human. You know that you are destined for good luck because of course you are. And it's not even like luck because you manifested it. Yeah, you manifested it. Your abundance is coming because you already know it's here. And there's nothing that can stop that. Okay. Anyway, that's the message I have for you today. Thank you for listening and thank you for being here.